Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. This is Neil with Portal to Ascension. We just began the live stream here on New Realities YouTube. We're live there, Portal to Ascension YouTube, and 3 different Facebook pages, Portal to Ascension Facebook pages. So hello to everybody that is tuning in or is going to be watching the replay. This is the 3rd day in the promised 3-day marathon of sound and vibrational awareness that we just underwent together. A lot of you tuning in right now or watching this replay probably checked out the last 2 events that I did. 2 days ago, we did 3 hours on sound and vibration and ancient civilizations. And yesterday we did sound and vibration, quantum physics, metaphysics, extraterrestrials, DMT, psychedelics and sound, how all of that is related to the whole concept that everything is vibration and frequency. So today we're on day 3. And as promised, this is now an interview. Not only did I just give you the recap of what we experienced, and as I'm talking to our guest here, we're probably going to get into some more of what we did there. But also throughout the weekend, throughout the last couple of days, I mentioned multiple times about a book that I am being featured in on sound. And I showed right now, the link is actually pinned in the chat. So you can take a look there. It's also in the description. If you take a look at the last 2 events, it's there as well. We're going to go over that in detail today. And I am honored to have the founder of Sacred Stories, who is, I guess, publishing me and putting me in this book and working with me in order to get this out there. So after we went through all of this awareness, it's just more than appropriate to really bring on Ariel here so we can have a discussion about, who Ariel is and why this project even exists in the first place. So thank you so much for being here, Ariel.
Yeah, Neil, super excited about all the work you're doing, bringing this, as we always teach, ancient knowledge, but future knowledge really into our mainstream consciousness. So thanks for having me.
My pleasure. So let's do it like this. I want first everybody to know who you are and why, because I feel like the intention behind what you've created is really important for people to really know what they're going to be submitting their articles for if they were to be in the book that we're going to talk about. So go ahead.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So as Neil said, I'm founder of Sacred Stories, which is Sacred Stories Publishing and Sacred Stories Media. So we're a book publishing and media company for, our sacred stories, our lived wisdom, the consciousness, ancient consciousness and future consciousness. And this book series is super exciting for me. I really feel like it's work of my soul. And I know everyone listening can relate to that because we're all being called to do our work. It's called Common Sentience, and it is actually right now a 9-book series, which will continue to grow. And the idea of Common Sentience is to kind of take us out of this last closet that many of us seem to be in, or the larger world seems to be in, which is the spiritual closet, and really come out and be our true selves as spiritual beings living, a human experience, right? But we're all having spiritual experiences, mystical experiences, and many of us either don't understand what's happening. We're kind of hesitant to talk about it because we don't feel that people will understand or they'll consider us, different in some way. Or we look for our spiritual communities, which are awesome, like Portal to Ascension and New Age Realities. But what we want to do with Common Sentience is pair the wisdom from a featured author, a wisdom teacher such as Neil, on a particular spiritual topic with the true personal spiritual experiences that people are having with the community. And let's bring that together. Let's frame a topic about it. And then, Neil is, the wisdom teacher, the guru, take the guru down from the mountain, put him in sacred circle with all of us, and let's all share our stories. And so Neil's book is one of 9, and his book is on sound, as he said. So I know we'll dig into it more, but the idea here, guys, is to bring the mystical into the mainstream through the power of storytelling, grounded in the wisdom.
Exactly. And I'm really excited for this book for many reasons, especially because the fact that sound and vibration is like my foundation. And truly, as I said, and I keep saying over and over, vibration is everything. Even my microphone is made out of vibratory frequencies. So it depends on how fine-tuned you want to get into this whole thing. So all of creation, universes, the realms, the dimensions, all have to do with frequency. So it's a huge passion of mine. And then when I started doing, events, the first like couple of hundred events I did was specifically sound and vibrational baths, right? So not only do I get an opportunity to be in a book, my first like published book, which is exciting because Ariel, I don't know if I told you, I had, I have like a 10-year goal, right? Like even more than that. But my goal was when I turn 40, which is in a year from now, to start publishing books. So this has actually kickstarted my intentions like a year ahead, you know what I mean? So it was in perfect alignment actually with like, I really wanted to do this. And then you reached out to me to do it. So it was such a huge synchronicity that not only was the topic going to be on sound, but I was going to be assisted in the way that you were assisting me to actually create this book. I didn't have to just do it on my own,
Right.
And
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, just for clarity, this is your book. You
Yeah.
are the author of this book. We say featuring Neil Gaur or featuring the other wisdom teachers in all of their specific topics, because they're being joined by the collective stories of the community. And so you're not the only voice in the book, and that's the whole intention of this, and that's the beauty of it. Yeah. However, you are creating, you are the author. And so the way these books are structured, and what's super exciting for me, is that we're really fine-tuning each spiritual phenomenon or each spiritual topic. So somebody doesn't have to go and read, all kinds of books to understand a particular topic or understand spiritual phenomenon. You can really dip in and out and pick any of these books. And what you're going to find is part one, which is an understanding of the topic. It's a real grounded wisdom from the featured author, from the wisdom teacher. So Neil's going to really give you a great foundation and understanding of sound, toning, frequency, vibration, really explain it all in an easy to understand way. Then part two is the sacred stories, is the lived experiences. This is when the mystical, really comes into the mainstream. Neil will be sharing two of his personal stories because, this is about community. And then we're going to fill it with your stories to show that, yes, all this stuff that Neil talked about in part one is really real, guys. And here it is. And here's people from around the world having these experiences. But then it gets even better, because then in part three, Neil comes back in again as the wisdom teacher, and he will be deepening your understanding. He's going to take it to another level. He's going to share his wisdom, his practices, different ways to help you even deepen into the phenomenon of sound and vibration even more. So it really takes you kind of A to Z, but really focused on a particular spiritual phenomenon, and then you could dip into all these different ones we're doing in all the different books as well.
Yep. And I'm excited because collaboration is key for evolution of consciousness. And it's even in our mission statement, collaboration over competition, coming together to share wisdom and information so that we can collectively make a shift. So this book gives me an opportunity not to just be like just myself, but to work with the community and do a call out to the community. Many people that have been, watching Portal to Ascension events for some time, some people that I don't even know personally that are submitting these stories as well. So it comes together. And I feel the energy and the frequency of a collaboratory book is just like so powerful that not only are we going to share, like, as you said, a lot of wisdom teachings about, just the information and the technicality and the consciousness of sound and vibration, but then the stories are the confirmations of the experience, right?
Yeah. We're a storytelling, race, right? From ancient times, we've shared through story, we've sat around the sacred fire in community, and we learn through stories, we teach through stories, we come together, we create relationship around stories. Stories are our history, right? And so what better way, like you said, to move from the guru? The guru is great, right? The guru is great. The teachings had to come, but now we're experiencing these people on more and more of a frequency, pun intended, are experiencing these mystical experiences because it's the essence of who we are. And so I truly believe that the way to move us to the tipping point, to a higher consciousness that is really a majority of the collective. So things really do start to change. We choose to walk in this world with a higher consciousness in a gentler way upon our earth, is when everybody can come together and are seen and are valued for their experiences and feel confident and comfortable sharing them. One of the things we say with the Common Sentience book series is, let's change the narrative on the types of stories we're telling, on the types of things we're talking about. So let's talk about, confidently and respectfully and feeling honored by sharing our experiences that are our innate essence. It's truly who we are. And that's the invitation to everyone, is to submit their stories. And thank you for showing the heading, because it's, Neil's book is on sound, right? 6 of the books are already in production. In January, Spirit Animals is coming out. The other 2 books that we have the call for stories for at the moment, in addition to Neil's sound, is Shamanism with Oscar Mira Quesada and Ascension with William Henry, who I know you know through Neil's community, because William's a current popular presenter. So all 3 books of those topics, we're looking for stories. And specifically today, we're talking about Neil's and sound and frequency.
So why don't you guide us through the website a little bit and tell people what they can do and what they should do if they want to submit the stories?
Yeah, absolutely. So guys, it's super easy. sacredstories.com will get you to the main page, and Common Sentience is all over it. You can also see in the menu bar top Common Sentience, which will bring you into all of your choices in the call for stories. Neil has the tag for Common Sentience -sound, which is his particular page, which explains sound and what we're looking for with these stories. But if you notice to the Neil, if you can click on it, on every page, you'll see click for submission guidelines. If you can click on that for us. We've really laid out, and we think in a really clear way, the types of stories we're looking for, the length of the stories. We want them written in first person narrative. We just want you to tell your story. And please understand that your wisdom teaching, don't teach or preach, because we feel that the experience of the story is the most powerful teacher, and your wisdom will come through your lived experience. So we have all of these, information here to read through. Neil, if you scroll down just a little bit more, what's super important, everyone, is that you submit your story through our submissions form. So there's a little link that says click to submit your story, and that will take you to our submissions form. And you basically, it's super easy, fill it out, paste in your story. You have an opportunity to choose if you want to have give us your bio. Your bio is going to be in the book. So if you're doing spiritual work, you have a business or anything, this is a great way to also increase your, people knowing about you, right? Increase your presence. Completely free to be in the book, completely free to submit your stories. We're not charging you for anything, and we will professionally edit your stories. We will send them back to you for a courtesy review. We will publish your bio in the book, and we actually have some really fun promotional opportunities for our sacred storytellers, our contributing authors, to do. Once your story is accepted, all stories are read, all stories are vetted, and we will let you know if your story is accepted. And Neil's book is coming out in fall of 2022. So right about this time next year, right around your 40th birthday, Neil, the book will be published, and your stories, you will also be published authors in Neil's book. So just come to the website, kind of follow the prompts, but please submit all stories through the submissions form. And I will tell you, we're not going to tell you, hey, we got your story. We're not going to say anything, because we're receiving, that's kind of hard to keep up with. But at the bottom of the screen, it's going to say, we received your submission. Thank you. So, we do get all the stories when you click submit. They do come through.
Yeah. And if you, if you want to submit your stories, the link is pinned in the live chat, and it's also in the description. And this is going to go out onto our podcast as well. So if you're just listening to the audio of this, it'll be in the description of the podcast, and just click there. If you want to be a published author, right? go ahead and click through. If you don't really care to be a published author, but just want to share your story with others, and and who knows how many people, hopefully thousands of people are going to read this and get some insight from it.
Millions of people
Yeah,
will read it. Yeah,
right.
that's the intention.
Exactly. No,
That's
go
the
ahead. Go ahead.
vibration. No, I was just going to say that and what's really beautiful about this is the, it's part of a larger series. And so it's the idea of, each book is sharing and promoting the rest of the book. So it's not just a one and done. It is part of a movement. Really, guys. I mean, what we're really doing
Exactly.
here is beginning a movement to be loud and proud and grounded and
Yes.
empowered in being who we are and sharing our experiences. And you know what, when you share your experience, not only does it help you and elevate you and honor you, you're honoring yourself in doing so, but you're allowing others to do so as well. Many people feel uncomfortable or they don't feel accepted or they feel that they're going to be judged in some way. So not that anybody needs permission to be their true self and live their spiritual lives and to experience the mystical, which we're all a part of. But by sharing your story, by contributing to a book series like this, letting other people know about this book series, you are in essence helping others to be their true selves and to really be part of this larger movement to raise the consciousness in our world. And I honestly, that to me is incredibly exciting. And
exactly. Yeah, we are demystifying the realm of consciousness, so that we all on earth can realize that this is actually true in a reality, because we're evolving in consciousness. We're getting to a reality where the energies are supporting these mystical experiences that many have even doubted for thousands of years. But now we're realizing more in a collective that this is actual reality that will, on every topic that you're sharing in the series, but let's just specifically talk about sound, that we're realizing that we're not just Newtonian atoms and above, that we're vibratory beings, and vibration and frequency of everything around us can affect us. And that was what the last 5 hours in the last 2 days plus some was really all about, is really, going into really not only showing how the ancients knew about this wisdom, but about the sciences behind it. And then the ultimate reason we're sharing this information, what we can do with this awareness for our future to better our lives and better the lives of the entire planet. Right. So again, if you want to share your stories, click the link. And even if you need some assistance, right? Like say, open it up, bookmark it, come back to it, write something. But if you need some assistance or have questions, feel free to reach out to me. Go to portaltoascension.org. There's like 3 things that you can like immediately contact me on, and I can give you some assistance as well, and support in that.
Yeah, and a couple other just things I want to mention that I think are super important is, the idea of the guru or the special person, the one person that had, an NDE, or this person that had this cool experience and they put it out there and everybody's like, oh my gosh, that's incredible. That's awesome, right? They're paving the way. But now it's time for the rest of us who are also special, right? Or everybody's special, where there's no specialness. It's just common, right? That's the common sentience idea. These are our common day experiences, to be seen and to be heard as well, because I think the collective voice is what will turn the tide, right? So it's not just somebody looking out and going, that's super cool, what's happening for them, or they're somehow more special than me. They're not. They just are one of the first that have shared, and now it's time for the rest of us to be able to share and feel confident and honored in sharing our experiences. And so, that's the invitation, guys. The invitation is to really, truly join the movement of helping us bring a higher consciousness into the mainstream, bring the mystical into the mainstream, and help it be, just everyday conversation. Let's change the narrative and what we really talk about. But a couple things, Neil, like you can also join Neil, not only in his book, you can join Neil and have your name on the book cover. Now, it's completely free to be in the book, have you showing the book. But if you would like to have your name on the book cover with Neil, there is an investment. It's $998, but what you get for it is, one, your name on a book cover with somebody as incredible as Neil, or the other featured authors if you have stories for their books. you get an expanded 50 word bio in the book. So again, if this is your work and you want people to see your have a larger presence, it's a great way to do it. You also get additional promotional material invitations. So Neil will be holding an author type summit, a roundtable discussion on the topic of sound, and the people who have their names on the cover will be invited. So you'll be in a broadcast similar to how I am with Neil right now, being broadcast out to all of Neil's networks and Sacred Stories and our larger promotions to share your story and to share the experience, in a roundtable discussion. So and other opportunities will be coming. So if you're looking at this and you're saying, well, I really want to be a part of it and maybe a bigger part of it, there is an opportunity to, if your story is accepted, to have your name on the cover. And for Neil's book and the current ones, we are accepting stories only through December 31st, and then we're done. And if you're interested in having your name on the cover, you submit your story earlier than later, because it will fill up, and we will be picking and vetting the stories as and if we're over, we will look to see what the earlier submissions were as a deference to them.
Yep. So just to recap that, you can submit your stories, be published in the book at no charge. And then if you want to upgrade and actually be on the book as a featured author, then you can upgrade for that as well. So there's no real reason for you not to share your story. And so if you have one and it's a minimum 800 words, maximum 2,200 words, click through to the links in the description and check it out there. And I like what you said earlier, which is also important. If you maybe don't want to share your story or you can't think of one, let other people know. You might have friends or family, or even be connected to, there's some sound practitioners that are pretty well known that I've reached out to in order to see if they want to, share their stories. If you know anybody that has had a story on sound, let them know about this, and it might be a great opportunity for them as well.
Yeah. And the stories can range. I mean, the descriptions on the website, it could be around sound healing. It could be a mystical experience like chanting or toning. Neil tells a story about listening to binaural beats and really opening, you had mentioned like a water stargate, right? And you really went into another dimension. Sound affects us and impacts us in sound frequencies, vibrations in so many different ways. So your stories can be varied, and we hope they are. So, if you receive an incredible physical, emotional, spiritual healing through a sound experience of any kind, share it. Let's get this information out there.
Yep, exactly. All right, so we're going to close up right now. Ariel, do you want to share anything else before we close out? And I'm going to just do a poem, and then we'll be done for this podcast.
Yeah, last thing. But as we're talking, you reminded me, which, shouldn't need reminding. You reminded me, Neil actually has a course on Sacred You, our online course division, called The Truth About Sound. And it's a super cool video presentation where he walks you through a lot of it. And I know you've done a lot of that in the last few days as well. But if you want something that you can, go through with a little bit more information in it and download, keep, do as much as you want. I'd like to offer just, let's put it out there. I'm going to make it up and make it happen as soon as we get off the air. Use the coupon code SOUND44. Let's just stay with the vibration. SOUND44 if you want to do it, and take 44% off Neil's course. We'll do that through the end of November. So SOUND44 if you want to check out Neil's course. If you go to sacredstories.com, you'll see a link for courses, and you go to Sacred You, look for Neil's sound course. Or Neil, if you want to add the link maybe in the write-ups later, but happy to offer that, because Neil does share really incredible wisdom through the Truth About Sound course as well.
Yeah. This book is truly going to be revolutionary, and it already is. Just like the amount of information awareness is really going to be full circle, and then having people's stories in it is really unprecedented, and I'm excited for it. So thank you so much, Ariel. And so I'll go ahead and do a poem, and then we'll close out for today. Okay, let's do this. Oh yeah, and then everybody who is tuning in, if you did not watch the presentations in the last couple of days as well, the course has even more information than the presentations I did. So if you want to go even deeper into it, take the course, but also check out those presentations, because in that I break it down and break down all these types of experiences that you have and the range of them that you might not even realize that will probably, instigate in you, or maybe spark that awareness of, whoa, I did have an experience like that. I was at an ancient site and this happened to me, or at a sound healing event, this is what came to me. And that is what we're really trying to look for here. Okay. All right. So this one is called the Traveler, the resurrected one. Many times faced incarnation, simultaneously happening, the desolation, sun explosion, implosion, creating a rip in space-time, for me to travel with the universal mind into planetary systems vaster than the galactic kind, where the laws of physics no longer apply, where the energetic beings reside, going faster than the speed of light, mass increases to infinity, omnipresence of my energy, one with a celestial melody. Harmoniously find the frequencies that are hidden from sight. I left the density of struggle, resistance, and fight. The lessons have been learned, so it's time to climb up the dimensional ladder onto the next multiversal ride as a quasi-physical being, half flesh and half light, the metaphysical, metaphorical, quantum theoretical truth of mankind, full disclosure of the cosmic kind. Resurrect the Christ consciousness, let the bliss flow, and undergo the transition into the fifth world, prophesies to be the end of human karmic woe and the duality of friends and foes. Know this, we are about to shift the human consciousness into the dimension that is next. Allow the vortex to appear when people start to disappear, melt and dissolve the fear. The time is near for the revolution of consciousness to stare us into the galactic arms of the Milky Way. Swim into the ether with abundance, to the universe we pray. Eradicating the lack mentality, creating technology holistically that has never been seen through alchemy. Order is the result of anarchy, throwing off your center of gravity only temporarily during the ascension of our galaxy and all sentient beings. During the ascension of our galaxy and all sentient beings. Thank you all. Love you all so much. Stay tuned for new broadcasts. We have Billy Carson coming on in a couple of hours from today. We have a Michael Tellinger webinar starting in about an hour. So if you want to check out anything else from Portal to Ascension, portaltoascension.org, online events. And for the book, again, it's in the description of the podcast, the description of the YouTube videos, and it's also pinned there. So please do go ahead and check it out. Thank you all. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Talk later.